Shoe0nHead is right, but Hunter wins the debate. All right? Because Shoe0nHead, while being correct, is doing a very bad job at defending her positions, and Hunter, while being wrong, is doing a very good job at defending his positions. I heard there was recently a really bad heat wave up in the Pacific Northwest up there, and honestly, it's gonna be a pretty hot summer. It has been a very hot summer, and if you're like me and you have trouble with staying hydrated when it's hot out and you sweat a lot or the heat just gets to you, then you need cold water. But going back and forth to the fridge, that's a pain in the ass. Pain in the ass. So why not keep your cold water with you in a bottle that'll keep it cold for a long time, is easy and convenient to use, and not to mention, looks pretty damn stylish. Introducing the coldest water. It's a brand that has a lot of different products, but my favorite thing from them are their water bottles. I actually have two of them. And I gotta say, I really like this upgrade. You versus who she tells you not to worry about. You know what I'm saying? If you would like to get one, you can actually get it for a pretty good discount. The link in the description. I have an affiliate code as well as an affiliate link. Go check it out. I get a cut of whatever you make, and you get a fairly sizable little bit taken off of the total buy if you pick anything up. Okay, I don't know how this started. I don't know what caused this. I assume Twitter was involved. But apparently Shoe0nHead and Hunter Avallone had a debate. And apparently it was over guillotine memes. I don't know what the deal is, okay? All I know is I heard Hunter won. We're going to be watching it and we're going to be reviewing it. It's only 30 minutes long. It's not that long, so it shouldn't be too much of an undertaking. But to spice things up a little bit, since this is not a serious debate by any means, they're arguing about fucking memes, okay? It's not that important. I have a marijuana vape pen right here. It is, of course, legal where I am, and I'm going to be getting progressively higher every time I cringe during this debate. If I cringe, I take a puff. That's going to be the rule. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy.
What, we're going to fucking rise up and kill the rich people?
There are people that unironically believe this. Absolutely.
True.
Yes, you know this, Jill.
That is true.
Okay.
Already.
That's a bad thing to you?
Okay, so you're doing it though. You're proving my point.
Okay.
No, you're proving my point right now because now I thought it was just a meme.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think Hunter won this one. I'm gonna be honest already, and if that starting soon screen accurately, accurately depicts and sets the tone for the rest of the debate, then. Yeah. Whew! Shoo. Is Anna communist? I'm a communist.
Hello, Shoe. How are you?
Hi, how are you? How have you been?
I am good. I'm here to be the joke police.
Oh, yes. Clearly, yes.
No, but seriously, what have you been up to?
Nothing, just working on my next video. But I was excited for this. I'm not a debater. I'm good at debating, so
no,
you're really good. By the way, you're really good at debating. I just need to say, you've evolved into a full debate bro. I was watching your Mike from PA thing and a whole bunch of other
Mike
shit.
from
Well, hey,
Mike
I
from
appreciate that.
Pashtun.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't think that this is gonna be like a debate. I'm thinking this is.
Shoe0nHead is so nice, but God, does she do things that make me want to be mean to her. I want to be nice to Shoe0nHead, but she keeps tweeting or saying or doing things that really make me want to be mean to her, and that makes me feel bad. I wish she would think before tweeting sometimes. I really do wish she'd think before tweeting. So many controversies that Shoe0nHead has been in, and myself to a degree, could have all been avoided had I just thought for 10 extra seconds before sending the tweet, She likes memes, let the woman meme. Hold on. We're not making this into a man-woman thing, okay? Sean does the same shit. Alright? We know because of Sean's YouTube videos that he is not a complete fucking idiot. However, if you look at his Twitter, you're going to think he's a complete fucking idiot. And that is because he doesn't think before he tweets, but he does think before he puts out a video.
probably going to be much more like a discussion.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, I got to, maybe I have to go full debate, bro. Who knows? We'll have to
Okay,
just,
yeah, you could try, yeah. I mean, it's good practice for me because I've only debated Carolyn Borisenko, and that was like a
remember
fucking
that.
train wreck, yeah.
Yeah, people are getting mad because you don't have the camera on, but sorry guys, it's just a call.
I don't
Get over
want
it. So let me give a quick rundown just for the audience, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So someone tweeted, "Meet
Every
the
time I
revolutionary
cringe, I get
technology that
this.
could help solve the climate crisis," with a picture of the guillotine. And then I said, "Love it when the left advocates for violence while hiding behind the memes." Sounds really familiar. Obviously, talking about the like alt-right kind of comparison there. And then you said, "Dude, we're facing like 10 different crises happening right now. Climate, corona, literally economic inequality is past the Gilded Age, etc. Just let people punch up on Twitter, LOL, Bezos' feelings won't be hurt." Which is probably true.
All right. I'm going to say this right now. Shoe0nHead is right, but Hunter wins the debate. All right? Because Shoe0nHead, while being correct, is doing a very bad job at defending her positions, and Hunter, while being wrong, is doing a very good job at defending his positions. So here is my thought on guillotine memes. They are cringy, and I think less of people who post them, generally, because they're very cringy, and it's like, okay, I mean, we could be a little more creative with it, okay? Guillotine memes, you know, come on. That shit, let that shit die in the 17th century, okay? Like, there's more better memes for punching up at the millionaires now. Hunter is probably going to make the violence argument. He's probably going to make the argument that these memes, in the same way that sort of alt-right, racist memes encourage violence to a degree, that these lefty ones do the same. The difference is, for one, lefty memes are not actually meant to incite violence. They are meant to incite antagonism, but not violence. While the right and their rhetoric is overwhelmingly in favor of violence, of get up off your ass, grab a gun, and go shoot up a synagogue. That is the rhetoric behind the right. The left, the most violent rhetoric you'll find the left is like Antifa, and that's like go out and engage in violence if necessary against fascists, right? It's just not comparable, right? You're not even realistically are you going to have cases where revolutionaries are going to be like murdering millionaires and billionaires on any significant rate. It is cringy, but it is not causing harm. There is definitely a difference between alt-right Nazi memes meant to punch down at minorities and, left-wing, like, communist memes that are meant to punch up at billionaires, right?
Uniting, in a way. I don't think there are people, unless they're, like, huge bootlickers, who get offended punching up at the most powerful people in the world like that.
Sure, so okay.
Okay, no, you go.
I'm just going to say, like, yeah, there's a lot there. Like, first of all, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be allowed to do this. Obviously, people can meme and tweet whatever they want. Yeah. Like, people on this channel know, of course, like, I like edgy humor, too. Yeah. I don't have a problem with edgy jokes in general. It's just jokes like this about, like, especially, like, violent and, violent extremism that I kind of take an issue with. So the punching up thing, that seems to be, like, central to your argument. That
Shoe is wrong about these memes being bad optics. They are bad optics. They're good optics to certain people who are more susceptible to these arguments, but there's a reason why the right, when it was most successful during like the Gamergate days, they were very mask on. They kept their more violent tendencies way back to the bottom of the rabbit hole, and you didn't learn about how they want to murder like brown people and have an ethno state until you were well into it, right? But the left will just post memes about how they want to commit violence and use violence to assert their political beliefs on Twitter all the time. Large accounts, thousands of likes, hundreds of thousands of likes even. I don't know. It just... I think a lot of left-leaning people don't know how bad those optics are and why when the right was more crypto with their violent intentions, they did so much better than the left does now.
You know, it's punching up. And I do agree with you that it is obviously punching up and there's a difference there. But at the same time, I would ask, where's the line there? Because, for example, you're probably fine with people making fun of you on Twitter, but I doubt you would be okay if people were consistently calling for your death on Twitter, but they could argue that you're up.
I understand what you mean.
Like, they could
But-
argue you're a privileged YouTuber. You're able to
Well, the problem is plenty of people already advocate for Shoe's death on Twitter, so it's already a thing.
have a successful career by making videos. You probably make a decent amount of money. What's stopping someone from making jokes about killing you? Because I would find that abhorrent.
Well, they do it, and it's just like, okay, whatever, like, I don't care. But, like, I feel like there's an obvious line, right? The line is these people are basically untouchable. They're not like you know how, like, abolish the police was kind of optical poison, right? Because everyone knows a police officer. Like, some police officers are in your family, whatever. Nobody knows a fucking multi-billionaire. These people aren't like us at all. They're not on the same level. Like, me and you were, like, regular tax-paying people. There's a huge difference between multi-billionaires, people in power, like, people in our government and stuff like that, making jokes about that, and making jokes about, like, any other person. Like, if somebody was like, oh, like, talking about how they want to kill Steven Crowder, like, that looks bad. That looks like we want to kill people who disagree with us.
But that's an arbitrary line that you're setting, more or less, right? Because
I
some
guess
people
so.
might say that, well,
So you'll regularly see people on Twitter talking about how they want to guillotine or like execute Steven Crowder. I see it all the time, and I don't entirely disagree with it in a video game. But go back to the anti-SJW days. Besides the random trolls that would send death threats, did you ever see any of the large right-wing creators, anyone with any like platform, serious platform, unironically argue for the murder and death of like the SJWs they'd make fun of? Can you think of a single example of that during the peak of the right on YouTube during like the Gamergate days? Did any of these content creators ever say they want to murder Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu and like what's her name, Riley J. Dennis? Well, there were like the trolls that sent death threats, but the creators never did that kind of shit. And the reason was they did threaten Anita. None of the big people that had a platform did. The trolls who are nobodies did. But the big content creators who have the influence never did that. And that was smart. Because in real life, I mean, in real life, if you see somebody advocating for violence for their political group, you're going to be a little bit, kind of pushed away from that. Yeah. It was 75% Trump and 25% edgy memes. Yeah. Yeah.
Steven Crowder is pretty wealthy, so he is more powerful. He has a shit ton of influence. He's a multi-millionaire. Why can't I joke about guillotining him?
Okay, I don't know
Second,
how to...
I mean, if I can go on in the other, because I wrote a couple things down here too.
But, like, Steven Crowder isn't, like...
Well, tried for a while. The I wouldn't even rip you comment was, I believe, towards the end of Sargon's downfall, right? Wasn't that, Yeah, that tweet was around the time he was running. Yeah, that was in his downfall. So you have to understand, Sargon's glory days was 2014 to 2016. After 2017, shit's just gone downhill, okay? Yeah. His UKIP run did not do him any justice.
Because we have, what, the fucking climate crisis? We have a bunch of CEOs, like, no one knows the ExxonMobil CEO. They're not
Oh yeah,
gonna see
libs
that
get
tweet.
the
They're not gonna be offended.
the
Like,
wall memes are really
it's not
cringe.
about
I feel like-
offending. So I think this is another like extension of the disagreement is it's not so much just about who's going to be offended. I don't care who's offended. I don't care if a billionaire sees this and gets offended. I don't give a shit about that. I offend people all day, every day for my job. Like, I don't care if people are offended. I'm more worried about the way that these memes...
looks?
No. I mean, optics, we can talk about that too, but I'm more worried about memes that can lead to normalization of radicalization and violence
Slippery
even.
slope of...
No, not the slippery
of memes.
slope. As
No, I know
we've,
what you mean. Sorry.
we've seen this happen in the past. So, like, the alt-right, for example, that's why I made this comparison. They began as a fringe minority on 4chan, irrelevant, not powerful, no influence, and they were able to push their extremist and violent ideas into the mainstream by using memes. It sounds funny. I know, like, I mean, if we want to talk about optics, this is putting me in a position where I kind of look like the joke police here. So
No, I know you're not being the joke police.
I get that, but I also wanted to, lastly, just read you this very...
A little bit of a compliment for Hunter here, and this is actually advice I was going to give him. He got rid of the green screen. Or it was a blue screen, actually, but he got rid of it, and now he's showing off a little bit more of his office. If I were to give him some more advice, I'd tell him to get like a wall a little bit further away and decorate a little bit, and he's got himself a pretty damn good streamer setup going. You never want to use a green screen as a streamer unless you're like Dr. Disrespect level with it. You usually want to like, this is just advice I'm giving for Hunter here if he sees this. I like what you did. This is going to increase your viewer retention, guaranteed. Now it feels like viewers, instead of watching a person in a blue void, now they're watching a dude hanging out, and it's like they're just there watching. That's why I like this setup, why you guys can see my whole room. If I went full screen, you could almost think that you were just sitting next to me, hanging out with me in my room here. That's a big thing that you want to do when you're a streamer, right?
Briefly, this comes from Security Management, a publication of Advancing Security Worldwide. I can send you this study if you'd like. How memes and internet irony are hijacked for radicalization. And this is talking about the alt-right, but I'd like to just read this to you and just kind of ask.
I don't think Hunter's joke policing. I think he really does mean well here. I think from Hunter's perspective, he was once part of the right, and he saw the flourishing of the alt-right, and he saw how it happened, as many of us left-leaning people have as well, through the propagation of memes that, kind of as a joke encouraged violence, and how that came about, and how that influenced a lot of people to get into the far right. And I think he's worried that there might be a similar result here. Like, do we actually want gangs of people killing millionaires and billionaires in the street? Like, no, we don't want that. That's not going to, like, you could say based is like a meme or whatever, but that's not going to get us any closer to communism or socialism. Not even arguing bad optics. I'm literally just saying that won't work. Even if we had mobs of hundreds of people like storming Elon Musk's apartment or whatever and beheading him, that doesn't get us even a step closer to socialism, right? That's not going to happen. Like, these memes don't actually have any real result that's going to have anything occur in the real world, but those alt-right memes did. And I think that's what Hunter's thinking about. I don't think he's trying to be like Destiny, anti-left arc, angry about lefty memes or anything. I think he's seeing a pattern, and without really putting that much thought into it, he's jumping on a position, especially because those memes are pretty cringe in and of themselves.
Ask you and the audience to think, is it possible that this could apply to these kind of memes as well? It says, the report, which analyzed memes and visual culture on 12 Chan sites from March 2020 through June 2020, found that memes are deployed to promote extremist narratives under the guise of pop cultural aesthetics, humor, and irony, thus lowering the barrier for participation. This attracts a younger generation of digital natives who may be initially drawn in by the visual culture and community component of message boards, and then slowly become more tolerant of radical and extreme ideologies.
Corvus. What's up, dude? Wait, I need to give you mod.
So that would be far more my concern.
That joke in particular that we fought about,
there you go.
It's structured like a TV ad. Like, it's simple and funny. Here's one simple trick to get rid of it. So the message that joke is sending isn't so much we gotta kill the people. It's pointing out that the crisis we're in is started by just a few people. Like, that's the joke. The joke is all this would take to end is just like these people just fucking stop.
I guess that's why it's a joke, because that's also not true at all. Like, like if we were to kill Bezos, that wouldn't do anything to help the climate crisis. Or ExxonMobil people. Yeah. But also, I kind of take issue a little bit with you adding this like nuance that just doesn't appear to be there. Like, it is about killing people. Like, it's a picture of a guillotine. That's from the French Revolution. So
like, Hunter's right here. This is a really bad move on Shoe's part. The thing you have to remember is when you're debating, like, sometimes brute forcing is way better than trying to wiggle out of a inconvenient tidbit, right? Like, in Shoe's case, it is kind of inconvenient, but yes, the meme does glorify and encourage the killing of millionaires and billionaires. That is the, that is the implication of the meme. That is what it is saying is a good idea. That is what the message you get from the meme, right? Only if she just owned that, I feel like she could still defend all of this if she just owned that. It makes her seem slippery when she tries to deny that's what the meme's about, rather than just owning it and defending that. Because if you have to lie about what the meme's about, then you probably don't have the best position, right?
The meme is spreading class consciousness, if anything. It's spreading, like, awareness two people.
Come
Like,
on,
this is
Shoe.
the big issue. It's all these people in charge of the world, of the
You could make the same argument that racist 1350 memes are encouraging race awareness, Like, yeah, no shit. Like, Shoe! I agree with you, Shoe. Your position is the correct one, but your debate skills aren't the best. But I can train you, Shoe. We can learn from each other. I will train you to become a debater, all right? You'll be the biggest debate lord on the internet. I know you get nervous and all that. I can tell because you have the nervous laughter every once in a while, which is not a very good rhetorical tactic in a debate. But we'll train you, okay? We'll train you. We're going to have you on all the big debates. You're going to be debating all the Nazis, all the crazy fucking Nazbles, everything. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
country.
But
That's
it's not.
the meme.
But see, okay. I guess again, if we want to say that it's a joke,
Shoe training
because
montage.
it's just a joke and it's not meant to be thought of seriously, then fine. But like, I would take disagreement with that because it might be these top CEOs that are playing a huge role in the carbon emissions, sure, but like they're not just doing that for fun. There's also a
Shoe0nHead said
demand for it. It's an entire
okay?
system that's broken, you could argue. And I don't think that just killing billionaires would fix anything. If we were to kill Bezos, someone else would just take the place.
No, I know. I don't think that either. But I'm just saying, like, it's the rhetoric that they're spreading it's not the same as the alt-right thing you're talking about. So, like, with the alt-right,
Okay.
I hate the punching up and punching down because I'm fine with both kind of jokes, right? So the alt-right will do, like, racist and sexist jokes and whatever. And that's, like, an identity thing. That's, like, let's say they make a joke about women or something. Like, we all do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay.
I do hate women.
They
She's got
could
me there.
actually become, like, misogynist or whatever. What would this joke do? Like, just make people hate the most powerful people in charge of our... Like, I don't see...
It could do a couple things. It could... One, I mean, if we want to get into optics, we can talk about that, but optics is not my main concern here at all.
Okay.
But you could argue that this does ultimately hurt your cause just from an optical perspective. You could also argue that, yeah, they might direct their anger at the wrong people. I don't think we should be raging out at Jeff Bezos. I think that you could
This is absolutely the right people we need to be directing our anger to.
Okay, but then so but the last thing I would say also about what the alt-right is with like punching up, punching down. Again, there is a difference there, yes, and I'm not saying that they're exactly identical. However, even if we want to look at it from a historical lens, like the French Revolution, right? That began with quote unquote punching up. It was the peasants fighting against the monarchs, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But then that led to over 17,000 people being massacred, including other peasants that just weren't on board with this revolutionary mindset. So the idea that like, oh, it's harmless just because it's punching up, history disagrees with you.
Okay, well, the French Revolution didn't start with memes, but I know what you mean.
Yes, it did.
I just don't see the harm in things like this
Wait.
at all. Like,
hold on, meme doesn't just mean like a meme, like what you see on this like little text and little like shit posts and whatnot. That's not what a meme really is. The term meme it comes from the idea of sort of a mimetic or like a catchy phrase can be a meme. What's a good workers like trans rights is a meme. Because it's a mimetic cue. It's something that you remember. It's got a meaning. It sticks in your head when you hear it. It's a phrase. It has been memeified, right? The same goes for like Among Us. Amogus or Sus, that's a meme because it is sort of like this. Yeah, that's what the idea behind it is. Ideas are memes. The sayings and the marching phrases of the revolutionaries in France, that was their meme. Those were their memes. They spread their propaganda. Those were memes. Their sayings and their battle cries, those were memes. Their rhetoric and their way of convincing people and rousing them in the street, those were memes. It was words and ideas and jokes even. There were there were jokes about the people in power back then, for sure. That is what roused the people into acting. Because memes are a way of conveying information. And when you know more and you're unhappy with what's going on, you're going to possibly stand up and fight to make things better.
Okay, Trevor Moore, who literally just passed away a few weeks ago, one of his greatest sketches is like, I think it's the song's called "It's Time for Guillotines," right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a good sketch and it's a good song, right?
This is a good point.
Like, are you gonna be like, oh, excuse me, Trevor Moore, this is a little optical, this is bad. Like, these are the most easiest jokes. This is like baby's first political humor, right?
But I would
Kill the
disagree with
rich or
that. But
whatever.
why? That shouldn't be. That, I mean, you need to explain to me why you think that
Okay.
it's not harmful if we saw the same thing happen with the alt-right. If we are able to see something as harmless, like, remember Pepe the Frog? Like, all these harmless sort of ideas that, like, that allowed the alt-right to actually sneak their extremist
Hey,
ideology
Are
into
you
the mainstream.
You actually believe the Pepe the Frog thing?
No, I'm using that as an example of
Oh,
how
Shoe.
they were able, like, it's a known fact
Shoe.
on how the
Okay, wait, is Muda still in chat? I can't imagine he is, but if he... Oh, well, he is apparently still in chat. Hey, Muda. Okay. I love Muda, but I made a response video to him a while ago. Like, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago? It's been a while. And it's because he made a video that I took issue with about Pepe the Frog and how the ADL had labeled Pepe a hate symbol. Now, I've seen a lot of people cite that as like an example of the media going too far, not really understanding internet, humor and seeing ironic jokes and then applying actual malice or meaning behind them when in many cases they really don't mean nothing. And I've heard a lot of people use that as evidence, like, oh, see the ADL, this is an example of the media taking it too far. But if you read the ADL entry for Pepe the Frog, by the way, if you haven't already, there's a movie called Feels Good Man. It's a documentary about Pepe. Very wholesome, very uplifting. You should definitely watch it. Me and Lonnie watched it recently. Very, very good. Gives you a lot of insight on the creator and like the history of Pepe. On top of that, the ADL entry specifically says that in the vast majority of cases, Pepe the Frog is used completely harmlessly. He is an internet meme that takes on many forms, that is used for many purposes, and the vast majority of them are not meant to spread hate or anything like that. But in the case of Nazi memes, like if it's a meme where Pepe the Frog is standing there with like a gun and he's like shooting down a bunch of black people, or it's like Hitler Pepe or Trump Pepe standing by the wall while the Mexican family can't get through, these are probably racist memes. These memes, these specific ones are probably racist, and a lot of racist people have adopted Pepe in their racist memes. So much so that there was a guy who went to one of the biggest Hillary Clinton speeches, like rallies there was, and then he was on 4chan. This is if you've seen the clip, you know what I'm talking about. The Feels Good Man documentary actually goes into detail on this. There was a guy in the crowd at the Hillary Clinton rally who was on 4chan on the poll board and was like an open Nazi and everything, who was there, and he said he's going to yell Pepe to let everyone on 4chan know he's there, and then he yelled Pepe. Like, they were able to line it up, and then everybody on 4chan reacted to it and was like, holy shit, he's actually there, he's real. And then they joked around about how wanting to, like, shoot Hillary and stuff like that. Anyway. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that, like, not even the mainstream media on the left ever claimed that Pepe the Frog was, like, a Nazi symbol, just that it was sometimes used in that way in some cases. And I think Shoe is unaware of that.
The alt-right was able to use meme
Because they
culture
were
for
funny.
their benefit.
So how about we be funny?
So maybe we should be funny for the right reasons. But don't you realize
edgy
that
jokes allowed on the left, guys?
that's not what I'm saying. That is.
But I'm just like, what do you want? Like, I don't understand.
I'm trying to explain why this leads to how this can lead to harm. The thing that this could ultimately lead to could be someone taking out actual violent action against, I don't know, a wealthy person. Maybe they're thinking it's punching up. Like, I don't know. Like, how would you feel if something happened here?
You're literally doing the slippery slope, can't make edgy memes. Like, what is your argument? Like, I'm actually not understanding.
Okay, my argument is there are certain memes, right? Certain forms of media, even, you could argue, that can lead to the normalization of harmful and extremist ideas. For example, there's a Hold on, can I explain? There's a really interesting study where they took women and they showed these women movies about a stalker boyfriend, and then they were found that after women viewed that content, they were more likely to accept stalker behavior in their real life. Media can normalize certain ideas even on a subconscious level. This is a fact. This is inarguable. So all I'm saying is when you are making memes like this over and over again, you're softening people to radical, extremist, and violent ideas that wouldn't fix our problems. And also, you're providing a safe space, more or less, for tankies and other radicals.
Well, I don't have a problem with people hating the most powerful people in the world and the country. So if that's the slippery
They can hate
slope
those people,
radicalization-
but I'm talking about the way that this can normalize extremist belief.
Let me, like Destiny style, make Shoe0nHead's argument better than she can here. Which, no offense to her, she's not really a debater. Listen, in no reality are we going to see an epidemic of left-leaning people rising up and attacking rich people on the street or raiding their homes or trying to murder them because of guillotine memes. They've been around for a long time. They've been used plenty by people who are like anti-establishment, anti-powerful people in charge, not even necessarily the left, just like the anti-elite concept as a whole. These billionaires aren't going to have their feelings hurt online. They aren't going to feel threatened. They aren't actually threatened. No one is actually being pushed to violence by these memes, not in the same way that the alt-right encouraged violence in others with their memes and their threads and their talking points back during the alt-right days. That's not what's actually going to happen. Logistically, you couldn't even make that happen.
What did you think about the jokes of Jeff the rocket exploding and everyone like making jokes about that and wanting that to happen? Is that the same as the guillotine?
I mean, I'm not a fan of advocating for violence. I think that ultimately it just hurts your cause.
Okay, like I don't know. I feel like these are just very level 1 jokes. These people are untouchable. It's just such an easy thing. You can't get any more punching up than this. And left-wingers aren't the only one making this. Like, this is such a
Do you think there are
uniting
any people that
trope.
look at this and actually think that they should kill rich people or Bezos?
I'm sure there are people that do that. For
So
the
would
most part,
that
it's
be a
people just
problem?
coping.
Well, so that's irrelevant. Oh, it reset. It's not what the dog doing anymore. That's sad. Thank you, though, Gravcinemi. This is irrelevant. Yes, of course, tankies actually want to kill liberals and billionaires and stuff like that. No shit, a lot of lefties want to do that. And had they got if they were asked for the opportunity, they would say yes to it. Don't know how many would actually be able to go through shooting a bullet in Jeff Bezos' head, right? Like, killing a person, I feel like most of these 14-year-olds on Twitter probably wouldn't actually be able to pull the trigger. But while they may like that idea, there's no way they have any ability to do it or the will to do it. They LARP about it on Twitter. They post these memes on Twitter. They read those memes on Twitter. And that is because they have no ability to actually assert their political will with violence, okay? It's just not going to happen. They aren't going to get out of their... They don't even touch grass, okay? It's not actually nearly close to as much of a threat as the alt-right memes were.
Would that be a problem in your mind?
If people want to Roblox Bezos, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so.
Roblox.
But like, listen.
Because I mean,
so-
there are other creators, like even the Amazing Atheist was commenting on my thing, saying unironically that they have to pretend they're joking about this stuff, otherwise they'll get banned for violating TOS. I have a screenshot
Okay.
right here.
Okay.
So there are people that don't just look at this as a meme LOL. There are people that look at this and it's playing a role in normalizing this idea that we should actually go out and murder rich people.
Do you think that we have the ability to do that? Do you think we have the ability to
What do you
to
mean?
rise
Is
up
this an
and
argument?
multi-billionaires take them out?
It doesn't have to be multi-billionaires. You said it yourself that it's a class struggle. It could simply just be someone who's more well off.
Oh, yeah, there's tankies out there that want to kill me. Oh, believe me, there's tankies out there that think I'm a millionaire. Unironically, there are actually people out there that think I make... There are people out there who think I lie about how much I make. Like, which is hilarious. Because I'm extremely open. I did my taxes on stream for last year. I did my taxes on stream. Like, there's no... That's like... so beyond, like, it's wild. But yeah, there are people that think I'm like a big time oiler, like really rich and want to like fucking genocide me, I guess, because they think I'm like a bourgeoisie. I make 50 grand a year at best, recording myself in my apartment, talking to like a few hundred people who want to watch me and give me money. Okay, that's it. I I'm not doing any more debates tonight. We just did a long panel debate. I'm sorry, Patek, but I just got done with the hippy dippy. I can't, and I'm high. All right, sorry.
It
Okay.
normalizes violent extremism at the end of the day. And also it's just that, like, I walked away from the far right, and I don't like seeing the left engage in the same kind of bullshit. There are better ways that you can advocate for your cause.
At all, but
Well, it doesn't really matter though, because you said you're fine with either.
yeah.
So could you see how like Holocaust denialism jokes could lead to the normalization of like the idea that maybe the Holocaust was a hoax?
Sure.
So what, like,
But
why
this joke, the guillotine joke, is more on the level of the joke where it's like, come and take it with the gun. Because it's against, the government. It's against the people in charge or whatever. The fucking Holocaust joke, what is that? That's like making fun of victims, survivors. That's such a different thing. Like,
it can be different, but if one is worse than the other,
That's
doesn't mean the
true.
other
Sure,
one's
you can see how
therefore
much I
good.
make.
Like, it doesn't work
Well,
like that. One could be worse.
Cherry's both an admin on my website and manager of my YouTube channel. So not only do they see how much I make from ad revenue, but Cherry also sees how much I make each month, each day, each week through my website, through the administrator page. And I am not lying. All right, I make around 45 to 50K a year. I might make more this year. It depends on how the rest of the year goes, but it's possible I could make more than last year. This year might be. We'll see what happens.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the thing is you're taking the position that all of those jokes are completely fine.
yeah, like every joke is fine. People can joke about whatever they want. As long as it's like clever and they're not just like shouting the N-word over and over, and then it's just edgy for the sake of being edgy. But you can, like, Nick Fuentes, his joke about the 6 million cookies or whatever, like, he got banned for that or something. Like, that's like,
I mean,
awful, but it's still a joke.
No, but
Like-
see that right there, like Nick Fuentes himself has already admitted publicly.
Shoe, no, that was the moment Shoe lost that debate. Fuck, dude. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Because that is literally an example Hunter should have brought up earlier about right-wing memes encouraging violence. Like that, you just handed a W to Hunter on a platter, Shoe. Like, and it sucks to see a debate like this where you agree with the person who loses the debate. And this shouldn't be like any. This isn't like bad for Shoe, like morally. I'm not saying Shoe is like a creator that you shouldn't watch or anything like that. She's not really a debater. This is like her second ever debate, I think. So I really can't blame her. Debating is hard. But God, if I was there, it would have been nice. Like, fuck, that would have been a fun 2v2 maybe. Like Hunter and, I don't know, Riley Grace or Shong and me and Shoe0nHead. That could have been fun.
That
Yeah.
you have to hide behind irony.
Yeah.
Like, so you're
But
giving
I don't-
arguments though that are like defeating your own point. You're giving me
Okay.
You're giving me
There's-
arguments of people that are
But
actually
there's
giving.
such different things. There's such different things.
No, you're
though.
giving me
One
giving
is-
me examples of people
Okay.
actually pushing forward radical ideas under the guise of it's just a meme, it's just a joke, bro.
Okay, but what is wrong with? Okay, I don't understand what is wrong about, like, joking about killing the most powerful people in the country. I
told you
And
why.
there's
Because
a
it can
huge
normalize
difference
violent extremism, and also like
towards people who aren't the most powerful people in the country. Like,
it doesn't.
That's what I.
Would you be like? Yeah, so what if they're more powerful? Again, we want to look at the French Revolution and how that began. That began with punching up, and it eventually led to so much, like 17,000 people getting killed.
The people want to punch. They're either going to punch down or they're going to punch up. So I'd rather them punch up. That's. Like,
I disagree with that. I think I have more faith in people than that.
What can we do? Like, everyone just wants to cope. Everyone's depressed. We're
Yeah,
seeing
so
fucking-
okay, you have the
we
doomer
wanna-
mindset where you,
exactly.
okay, so there's the doomer mindset, which is let's just joke about killing rich people and that does nothing at all. Or we can actually talk about real policy positions. Like, I know that
We could do both.
I think that you can make jokes about it, sure, but I don't think making jokes about killing people is necessary. And then if we want to talk about optics, there is a level of optics there that I think is important too, because climate change is such a big and serious issue. It demands unity. It demands that we are all working together here. And
I could not think of a more uniting thing than joking about
really,
people.
do you
who've
think
been
that maybe
oppressing us.
moderates would be uncomfortable? Do you think people that aren't terminally online might be a little uncomfortable with jokes about guillotining the rich?
Hunter is
and
right
guillotining
here.
Bezos?
Hunter is correct here.
Send them to the
Stop.
gulags? Like, you don't think that might, like,
Fucking
push people
snowflakes
away?
then, who
They are
cares?
bad optics.
Okay, I have a lot of right-wingers in my audience, and I talked to them about this, and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. You could joke about, like, killing the rich, like, eat the rich, whatever. It's fine. Like, everyone, like, most people are fine with this level of bunching
On the
up.
internet,
That's
maybe.
fine. That's most
It's
people
almost-
aren't
it's just-
consistent.
On the internet,
so I don't
maybe.
care if most people are fine with it. What comes down to is if you're on the left, you do not become a different version of a human from people on the right. This worked on the alt-right. It worked before in pushing forward extremist
What's up,
ideas
Stardust?
into the mainstream under the guise of irony
I'm
and
high as
humor,
fuck
and
right
gives
now.
people this
But
plausible
the right-
deniability.
But the right's extremism is like, this is a straw man, obviously, but like, you know, kill black people or whatever. And the left's extremism is kill
Clip
the
it.
most powerful fucking people in
I'm
charge
not
of
saying
the
they're
country.
identical.
Clip
I'm not
it.
saying they're
But
identical.
then why are you worried about left extremism? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not. Wait, you said it yourself. I can be worried about both. Okay.
Okay.
And also, when you use
sorry,
memes like
Stardust.
this, you're providing
awful.
a safe space for other radicals. You're providing a safe space for tankies. Like, if you think about it, I mean, I look at myself as an example of this. I had a right-wing channel. I was never alt-right. I was never a fucking neo-Nazi. But I think that alt-righters and neo-Nazis felt really comfortable in my audience, and I don't want to cultivate
Sure,
an
message me
audience
after
like
stream.
that. I don't think that
I'll
I
give you
don't want
therapy.
authoritarianism. I don't want extremism
I
cultivated
don't
in
think this
audiences
is
like this.
extremism, though. This is like, again, this is basic humor. Like, this is like,
Shoe's right. Like, she's not wording it well, but Shoe is right. The like guillotine, eat the rich, or more so just like general antagonism with a hint of violence towards the elites who holds power. These aren't extremist memes. These are so far up on, like, this is one of the core pillars of comedy, of punching up, right? This is very, you know, normie shit, right? But like the 1350 memes and the JQ memes, that's not normie shit. That's stuff that's pushing people from the middle far to the right. I don't think people are even all that moved politically by these memes. It seems more so like a LARPing tool for people who already agree with this kind of stuff. But, and I agree with Hunter on this part, it is terrible optics and it does make the left look bad. It does. I'm sorry, but people in real life are not as very much like how they are on the internet, okay? I promise you. Like, when you meet well-adjusted adults who are interested in politics, or even uninterested in politics, and just watch from a distance, maybe they watch the news and vote, you know, that's all they really do. Like, those people would be turned off by these memes. But, you know, it's up there, right? Hunter never even made that argument, though. He did. It's the only argument you can make, but I don't think something being bad optics is necessarily a, like, winning, you know, argument, right? Like, plenty of things are bad optics. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be doing it, right? So, for example, having trans people in, like, kids shows is terrible optics. Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, like, objectively speaking, from the outside looking in, having trans people in, like, kids shows is bad optics. People on the middle and on the right who aren't already bought into the validity of trans people will view that as awful. That'll radicalize them to the right because they haven't already been sold on the idea that trans people are valid. It's a very, very tough truth, but it's true. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be having trans people in media, right? Even in kids' media. Because in the long run, I think the amount of people who are radicalized more right by that are probably they're probably gonna have more people who have that stuff normalized for them and are more likely to be progressive in the future.
I don't know what else
Especially
to
in
compare
kids'
it to.
media.
Again, it's almost like the come and take it jokes. Like it's just a level of punching up that doesn't have really a comparison with the right.
I just don't know
Shit,
if
I
you
gotta
can really
unclog this
appeal to
again.
that comparison when you're okay with either, so it doesn't really matter in your mind.
Because I'm just okay with jokes in general. I'm fine with them.
Okay, I mean, that just is ignoring the reality and the way that
Okay,
media
but what's
can
your
normalize.
conclusion though? What's the conclusion to this?
My
You just
conclusion
don't-
is let's take a break
Did I
from
finally-
making
okay,
jokes
there we
about
go.
murdering people.
This thing gets clogged up and you have to suck on it really, really hard to unclog it. I don't know what causes the clog. I think I got it. Yeah, I got it.
And then giving ourselves this plausible deniability and saying, "Oh, it's just a
We're-
joke, bruh."
we're
And
at
instead
peak-
actually yeah.
We're at like the peak of like just this empire crumbling, right? This is like Rome is about to fall. I think people can joke about this shit, like especially right now. My audience, again, with right wingers and left wingers, uniting with like Jeff Bezos. Oh, I hope his rocket explodes is fucking hilarious, and I'm fine with it, and I think that.
I don't know. You can just if you're uniting on certain guises, I think that could be in really dangerous territory. You could argue that you could unite with the far right on certain aspects. You want to No, if you want to talk about killing the rich people, well, the right believes that well, not the right. Sorry, let me clarify. The alt-right, the far right neo-Nazis, they tend to believe that the very rich are Jewish people. You might be able to find an agreement right there. Just if there's an agreement doesn't mean that it's a good thing. I just think that we should, for me...
That's also a good point from Hunter. You don't want to give the right the idea that they... Well, of course, I don't know if that they would, but you don't want to give, like, the left the idea that we should ally with the right when the right want to kill all the Jewish people and the left wants to kill all the rich people, but the right thinks the Jews are the rich ones, right? So you agree on solutions, not problems. All right? Vosh says the opposite usually, where he says agree on problems, not solutions. Agree on solutions, not problems, okay? Because, yeah.
You got to understand, too, my goal at the end of the day is to pull people away from extremism. I don't want people to be extreme
Is it the other way
left or
around?
extreme
I don't
right.
remember.
I want people to
I'm
be
too high for this.
rational centrists, enlightened centrists, that's right. And I think that just using jokes like this and humor like this, not only does it push people away, it's just kind of unfortunate because it seems really inconsistent. We like the right talked so much about the way that the alt-right was using memes and everything else, and then now they're doing the exact same thing.
Well, I like using edgy and funny memes. I think they're
I like using edgy and funny memes too, but we're not talking about just edgy and funny memes. We're talking about edgy and funny memes that are specifically violent in nature and normalize and soften the idea of violence towards individuals.
Okay, I don't honestly don't know how to argue this. It's just like I'm fine with these jokes, and I think
Okay, Josh.
if anything, they're more.
I thought
like
he
you
said
say
the
you don't
opposite.
want people uniting over this, but I think it's fucking cool. And
I didn't
based
say
if
that
we
either.
all-
It's fine if
If
people.
we all hate the same people. I don't know.
So basically, like, I have some studies here and some pretty solid historical and empirical evidence to support my claim, but I feel like your claim is just you like memes and that's it.
Yeah,
It's fine,
I mean,
Cherry.
like, what else could you say though? Like, again, this is
You
baby's
could take the
first joke.
okay.
Who cares?
You've seen the weed
All right.
channels, right, Cherry? Of course it's
I'm
not
trying to think
TOS.
what else I wanted to say though. It's like again, people just want to punch up. Like we punch down in our careers, right? We still sometimes punch down when we make fun of like random Twitter people.
I'm
and
not
stuff.
talking about just punching up and punching down. I'm
I'm
talking about violence specifically. Memes that are, again, normalize violent ideology,
It's
radical
so
ideology.
unrealistic though.
Why? If it was able to work with the alt-right, why couldn't it work in this area also?
What, we're gonna fucking rise up and kill the rich people?
There are people that unironically believe this. Absolutely, yes, you know this, Joe.
Okay, that's a bad thing to you?
Okay, so you're doing it though. You're proving my point.
Okay.
No, you're
There
proving
it
my point
is.
right now because now I thought it was just a meme.
It is a meme.
However, you're actually kind of
It
okay
would
with it.
be pretty
You've
cool.
memed yourself into the radical position, Joe.
I'm just saying, if we all took a guillotine all together, the left and right held hands, and wheeled the guillotine to Jeff Bezos' mansion, I'm just saying.
I love
it would
your
be
shoe, but
kinda
you're
cool.
acting
He
kinda
doesn't even have to come out of
sus.
the mansion. I'm just saying it would be some good symbolism. That's all
It
I'm
was a
saying.
little bit sus.
All right.
No, okay, I'm serious. I don't think there's anything wrong with joking about these things, and I don't know how to argue because, like, it's just, I don't know. We're at the tippy top of, it's coming to a peak, and I feel, and we're.
And you think that maybe guillotining them is what's necessary?
These people are villains. They're destroying our country. They're destroying
Why do you think
the
they're
world.
destroying the country? Do you think that there's a demand for that? For some of the goods that they're providing, that on the way of providing those goods, they're also destroying the world?
Like plastics and stuff?
Like, do you believe? Well, I'm getting at something deeper here, which is like
Mhm.
a broken
Cars.
system,
Yes.
where maybe the individuals aren't necessarily who you should be mad at, but rather the system. Don't we have this conversation about police?
Yes. So capitalism.
I'm not
Is that what you're getting at?
I actually agree with Hunter. I think in most cases, like rich people, like millionaires, billionaires, quite a bit less because to get that rich, you're doing some fucked up shit. But especially with millionaires in the lower end, like they're not doing anything wrong by being rich. You can make $1 million. You can be a millionaire, like on the lower end especially, and do something that does not, you know, fuck over others and exploit workers and exploit others to make your wealth easily. YouTube is a good example. Unless you think that YouTubers like getting charitable donations in their chat just because they want to support the stream is like, or ad revenue is like exploitation. I'd argue the streamers and YouTubers get exploited by the advertising companies because they probably make more money off those advertisements than they spend on those streamers, right? Or the platforms that host us, you could argue that we're being fucked over by them, like we're employees. I would make the argument that we're employees. That like YouTubers and streamers are employees of the platforms that they stream and you know upload on. And I think that legally it should be held to that standard. I think legally, if you are partnered on YouTube and making a certain amount of money, YouTube should be should basically be your boss. It more or less already is like that, right? But I think there should be other responsibilities YouTube has on top of that, to the point where they have to guarantee that if they're going to ban someone who does YouTube for a living and it is their job, they have to there has to be some amount of like due process, I guess you could say. Like you can't just strike, you're gone. You have no way of getting back for no matter what, even if it was a false strike. I don't like that. Even for Nazis, I don't like that. Because it applies to everyone. Everyone suffers from that. But the argument I was making, very high, I got stun locked for a second, is that honestly, like if you became a millionaire like Hassan, who streams, he doesn't deserve to be fucking killed because he's rich. Sure, he could give his money to charity, he could do this or that or whatever, but I mean, he doesn't own any businesses, he doesn't own any factories, he's not like, you know, even using, you know, material that was, you know, earned or was stolen or gotten in ways that were like really immoral to do his job, besides like his computer. But like being rich doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It's the system that's fucked, okay? We would be fine having rich people if we lived in a system where rich people were taxed more and we had more social like programs here, such as Medicare for All and, you know, even like free housing. Like we wouldn't care if there were millionaires if everyone had free housing and free healthcare. Would you? Would you guys really be all that mad about the existence of billionaires if climate change, which can be fixed through fixing our system, if climate change wasn't a threat and everybody had free housing and free healthcare, would you really be all that mad about millionaires existing? Like, or billionaires existing? I mean, for me at least, like as long as I'm not living at the threat of becoming homeless and starving, if I lose my job, I'm a lot less angry, okay? I feel like most people would be a lot less angry if we made a few changes that are completely achievable through our current system. If we change the system and vote differently, etc., we can get, you know, something close to Medicare for All. We can get more affordable or even free housing. Like, these are things that could still be done, I think, potentially.
No, sorry. Yeah, if you wanna like, be upset about something, then why not rage against the system and not like actually the individuals? Like you could argue that they themselves are products of that system.
Okay. I don't know how to
Many
argue
cases
against it. So just okay. It's an anti-capitalist meme, though. That's what this is. It is criticizing the system.
It's not though.
Is it not?
Because the way in the way that it's criticizing the system, it's let's kill rich people, which I disagree with that. I think that we've seen this happen with the alt-right. I think that we should. I see that, you know, I'm against my audience in this one too. My audience doesn't agree with this either. But you know what? I take consistency really seriously, and this is a like major inconsistency that I'm seeing on the left. But
my fellow DGG,
either way, if you want to go ahead and give like a closing statement.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it makes me sound edgy and radical or whatever, but I'm on the opinion of the people in charge of this country should fear the people. I think that's a good thing. I think
Okay.
The government should fear the people, and the people in power should fear the people.
I would agree with you
That is
completely.
true.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that needs to be done by memeing about
And-
murdering people.
Okay.
I mean, you can make the
Okay.
same argument about the president even if you wanted.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just think that it is sort of joke policing. It's you're worried about optics because I know that you come from the right and you've seen.
I'm not worried about optics. I've barely made an
Okay.
optics argument this entire time. I think there's an argument to be made on the basis of optics, but I don't think that's the strongest argument here. I think the strongest argument is ultimately the same way that the alt-right was able to hijack internet irony and memes in order to radicalize people and push extremist ideologies. I see no reason why people on the left are somehow above this. I think that they're just as susceptible, and I think we should be
Okay.
honest
if
with
the far
ourselves
right-
and
if the
consistent. But
If the far right got into power because of their edgy memes, what is the worst that would happen? A lot, right?
that's not even that. Like, we could talk about
A lot.
that.
Okay.
Sure,
But
we
then
can
if
talk
the far
about that.
left got into power, what would happen?
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
If we see
Corvus,
from
I
history,
agree.
they might try to establish communism, and then that would probably fail. Who fucking knows? All right. Hey, I appreciate you coming on,
I
Shoe.
don't know. No problem. This was fun. I like the fighting a little bit, but
Alright.
I appreciate your content. It's better than it's ever been ever, and anyone who says otherwise is lying.
I appreciate it.
That was nice. I like them both. Unfortunately, I think while I agree with Shoe, Hunter definitely won the debate, which isn't particularly surprising. Hunter's a big debate boy now, and Shoe doesn't really do debates. But, overall, I mean, Hunter won, but Shoe was right. I'm both sidesing. I'm splitting myself in half, and I'm taking two different sides. But it was overall, it was a good showing. I mean, it's a very stupid topic. This isn't even worth talking about at the end of the day. There's so much more that's worth giving, airtime to than that topic. But anyway, though, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube actually tells you when I upload, go live, or release a short. And of course, comment down below as well. It helps the video a lot, way more than you think if you comment. Plus, maybe I'll see it and I'll leave it a little heart, or I'll like it, or I'll read it. It's nice, right? You can also follow my social media through the links in the description. I have my website, of course, my Twitch, my YouTube, my Twitter, and my Instagram, as well as my fan Discord, where we frequently do watch parties of different shows and movies. So if you want to watch something with me, then that's the best place to do it. Or play games with me as well. I play a lot of Rust if you want to join me in there. On top of that, of course, finally, if you want to support me financially and now help me get a little bit closer to the VR headset I want to get for my big VR streams of Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Phasmophobia and all that, feel free to donate. You can donate, gift subs, or subscribe yourself to my website, xanderhall.com/live, or donate through Streamlabs as well if you want to help with this fund, or if you just want to support me broadly, you can donate on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good one.